almost seen as a different country. When you import the materials, you can defer the costs of the duties on the materials you import. When you now export, you can now pay the duties, but if there has been some value added to the materials, maybe you've fabricated something, you've put in some man hours in machining something, you have a cost savings on the duties. Therefore, there's even more cash saved for the vessel owners. Apart from that, we, as a free zone, there's also the benefits of transactional savings on VAT and taxes. For more information on the benefits on the free zone, please feel free to visit our booth, Jagal Energy Nigerdock at the back, and we can get a little bit more information for you. Again, we have accommodation. So, when your vessels come in for ship repair, the owners or the vessel crew can either stay on the vessel or can stay off the vessel. I know some of you might be asking or thinking, does it make sense for the vessel crew to stay off the vessel? It depends. If you want to mothball your vessel, if you want to lay up your vessel, you can have one or two crew members stay in the accommodation area we have, whereby we have our own security personnel that basically ensure security is kept tight on the vessel. We operate 24/7, so we do not have any issues of any operational issues, be it 10 o'clock, 2 a.m., you want to depart, you're free to go. Next slide, please. We have world-class facilities, and you see that on the short slideshow or the short video we're going to play after the presentation. We have world-class docks. We have a dry dock that is about that can take a capacity of 25,000 tons. We have a floating dock with a capacity of 3,500 tons. We have a vast array of equipment. We have up to 24 or 25 forklifts ranging from 10 tons, 12 tons, 15 tons, 42 tons forklifts. Again, multiple cranes, crawler cranes, mobile cranes, SPMTs. On all these equipments can be deployed on the vessel to assist in repairs. So if you need to lift any heavy items off the vessel, the cranes are ready. We also have rail cranes to support the operations, to support ship repair activities on the vessel. Because we have the interest of the clients at heart, there's an added advantage. We do all our maintenance in-house. So be it the engines for the generators, be it the cranes, be it the forklifts, they're all maintained in-house. What does this mean to the client? It means if there's any issue with one equipment, all we have to do is switch it out. If there's any issues with equipment on site, we can repair it in-house. We don't have to wait for a different company to come in and repair. So we're very, very time conscious. Some of us might look at it and say, well, we only have we only have one dry dock and one floating dock. This is mainly used for activities below the waterline of a vessel. For repairs above the waterline of the vessel, we have multiple quays. We have at least 300 to 400 meters of quay length for vessel repair. The first one is a 180 meter quay. It has a draft of about 6 meters. We have a 100 meter quay, again a draft of about 6 meters. We have a 70 meter quay that has a draft of about 7.5 meters, and a service quay, again with a draft of about 7.5 meters. So there's more than enough space to accommodate the vessels that require above waterline repairs. In terms of schedule and cost assurance, How do we do this? I previously mentioned we work closely with clients. We have lessons learned sessions. So if a client comes in, we look at it jointly and say, what did we do correctly? What did we do wrong? What did the client do correctly? Although the client is always correct, but you have a way of telling the client is wrong. So we look at it jointly and say, yes, we could have done 1, 2, and 3 better. By carrying the client along, he understands his errors, we understand our errors, and on the next docking or the next ship repair, we're geared up to close the gaps that were identified in the previous transactions. So again, in terms of costs, we're very, very transparent. When the client comes in, we give the client gives us a scope of work and we issue out a proposal. Once we issue out that proposal, unless the client comes back to us and tell us we want to change from one scope of work to another, there is absolutely no movement on that proposal. Therefore, the client has that confidence in us. In terms of having personnel, competent personnel on the island, our safety culture speaks for itself. Safety is at the core of our activities. In anything we do, we always think safety first. Before any activity is carried out in Nigerdock, we do a risk assessment. We do a step back 5x5. We do a GSA, and then we toolbox talk it. What do I mean by toolbox talk? All the people involved in the activity come together. Then they walk through the activity and list how they're going to accomplish the activity line by line. By doing that, you can highlight the risks and mitigate the risks before you actually do the work. That is why we've been able to attain, that is how we've been able to attain 16 million man hours. I see some people jotting here. I hope you're not taking in our secrets. Now, in terms of competence, we're also very big on training. Over the past couple of years, we've expended over 1.2 million man hours of training. Let me put that in perspective for us. If you're training personnel for just 1 hour, that means we've trained 1.2 million Nigerians. So if you're doing 2-hour trainings for each, that means you've trained 601,000. Is this one? 600, 100,000. Okay. If you're looking at it in that perspective, there are very few companies that first keep track of the trainings and then successfully deliver these trainings to ensure development, to ensure competence. Because it's not just about training. It's a framework we've developed in Nigerdock. It's a framework we're working, and it's a framework that has delivered results for us. The earliest signs of the results they have delivered is even on the last project that we did, Egina. We delivered it successfully with absolutely no LTI. We expended over 4 million man hours. We've done the same thing in shipyard, in logistic-based services, and in any other services that we provide to our clients. So, just to recap, we have capacity, we have competence in the industry in Nigeria, in the ship repair industry in Nigeria. There are opportunities that can be taken advantage of, but we require support from authorities, from government, from regulatory bodies. We require enforcement of legislation. We require unique financial models, because even as a company that has been successfully operating and delivering on projects, delivering on ships, on ship repairs, the cost of purchasing equipment is quite high. So we need the industry experts to look at financial models that can share the risk and reduce the interest rates so we can even be more successful. Thank you very much. So we'll play the short video. Maybe you can put it on full screen. Full screen, yeah. That's it. Just click on this one. Okay. Yeah. No, this one. Yes. So that shows the equipment we use to support the vessels. These are tanks for water and diesel. That's a real crane to support operations at the 180 meter quay. That's a real crane. That's our marshalling area, part of the investment, the recent investments. You can see our personnel are fully kitted, so we take safety very seriously. That's the warehouse one, about 3,000 square meters or 3,600 square meters. It has a temperature or climate controlled area in the warehouse for sensitive materials. That's one of the forklifts. We have a vast array of them. If you notice the yellow straps, those straps are lanyards. Because he's on a cherry picker, it helps him to break the fall just in case he falls off the cherry picker. So we have a lot of mitigations that we've put in place to ensure safety. This is the whole yard, a section of the yard. This is a lay down area, and the quay, the 70 meter quay is here, can support operations, ship repair operations above the waterline. This is some of the equipments we have. These are the SPMTs. These are 80-ton cranes, Terex cranes. This is the SPMT, and this is the 400-ton crane. This is the 275-ton crane. Again, our able workforce.